Welcome to Net Zero. What if we could replace petrochemicals and non-sustainable materials with products derived from trees and other biomaterials? Florian Graichen is a climate thought leader and executive at Scion, New Zealand's leading Crown Research Institute, as the journal manager, Forest to Bio-based products. Florian spearheads projects and programs aimed at replacing petrochemicals and non-sustainable materials with innovative biomaterials from trees. His expertise lies in driving sustainability-conscious solutions and fostering collaborations for a greener future. Net Zero is pleased to welcome Florian Graichen. Welcome to Net Zero, Florian.
Well, thanks very much for having me. Really pleasure to talk about this topic, and it's a topic really close to my heart, and it's so important for not only New Zealand, but I think that's ultimately important for the world.
How does Scion contribute to the goal of replacing petrochemicals and non-sustainable materials with products from trees and other biomaterials?
So Scion, what we are doing, so we're not a company manufacturing, we are an innovation, a research, government-owned research institute. So how we create this impact is by working with companies, with governments, with others to enable that with science, technology, innovation. When it comes to replacing petrochemicals, non-sustainable materials, people quite often, or people know that quote that pretty much every product you can make today from petrochemicals, you can make from a tree tomorrow. And I think that is true. And it's not only a tree, it's all other biomass as well. There are solutions where we have to look at consumer behavior, using less. So it's not only replacing and better materials, but it's a whole suite of things, of different behavior, rethinking the use of materials, different business models, and the like. And the materials that we are talking about, this reaches from bioenergy, so where we believe it has a role to play, say aviation fuel or marine biofuels or industrial heat, to the highest value of nutraceutical, cosmeceutical, pharmaceutical precursors, where bio-based materials can be a part of that instead of taking that from fossil-derived materials. And all of that, bringing all of that together, I think that's this important part where alongside of better recycled materials, better reused materials, the biomaterials have a role to play.
Can you discuss the impact and the benefits of distributed manufacturing and biorefineries in creating a sustainable and circular economy?
So we all are familiar with the current situation where you dig deep into the ground, you take the crude oil out, you put it through a refinery process, energy and all sorts of chemicals, materials come out of it, and that's what we use today. So now, if you envisage a future, and also we are on that way, that instead of taking that crude oil, might be trees, it might be horticulture, agriculture waste, it might be seaweed, whatever it is, I can use that now as the feedstock. So I still need a refinery, a facility where I can take this material and convert it into these individual building blocks. People still need, they need to close to where we need material for our cars, for our planes. Part of converting this sustainable feedstock, and sustainable is important, that it's grown sustainably, into these new products. You could, instead of taking all that feedstock to centralized refineries, you can take a process or a machinery to the feedstock. So you reverse it. So we bring the factory or the manufacturing unit to the feedstock, processes on site, and then distribute the product. It's a quicker entry point.
Could you highlight a recent initiative that demonstrates your unique approach and its impact on the environmental conservation, as you just gave one, but as it is working in many other areas?
From an example, and this is where we look at the type of tree. So beyond biosecurity now, it's a sustainable forestry. And science thinking around trees and planting trees is that you use the right tree for the right purpose in the right region.
What advice would you give to youth climate leaders who are passionate about getting involved in this kind of work that you are doing?
There are different ways of contributing to that cause. It's what we should focus on are the areas or the organizations or the people that are not contributing to it, and that's the ones we should focus on. That's probably one. The other one is, and that's this, like, how do I get started and where should I start? It's such a big, nearly overwhelming issue. We've seen that in conferences where school children were sitting in, and the problem is when you only speak of the issues and the scale of the issues, they get disillusioned. I think speaking of success stories is really important.
So how do you inspire your kids?
I've got a 6-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. It's a number of things I do with them. One is this environmental awareness. So when we go, for example, when we go to the beach, I've started pointing out when they were even younger that, there's plastic on the beach, so that shouldn't be there. So they've got that awareness. This does not belong there. The other thing is linking technology and sustainability. So this is like to show them, hey, there's, digital data, AI, synthetic biology, all of these things coming together, doing, it's really cool science that you can do. And then I've taken them actually here to Scion to work, and so they, saw people working, people with 3D printers, people with artificial intelligence kind of type setups, so that they could actually experience. And I think that's important. We need to start at that generation very, very early on to set and light this fire for innovation for that cause.
Your organization and your thoughts definitely inspire us to do more, to work more, and also to bring more and more awareness. Thank you very much to you for sharing your time and perspectives today. And they were truly enlightening for us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
I'm a climate activist, Drishya Pathak, and I'm trying to add my voice to the voices of my net zero international youth peers to monitor the action of our world's leaders to achieve their net zero commitments. So thank you so much for joining us today.